Hello, folks, and welcome back to another episode of the Jake Break, episode 38, coming to you live here. Trent and I are back in action again here tonight. The show's going to look a little differently, but we're excited to keep evolving and bringing new stuff to the show here. But first of all, welcome to the Jake Break. If you've never been a part of the show, buckle up, get ready to roll for an exciting episode. But welcome back, Trent, to another episode. How are we feeling tonight?
Well, we'll get into that in a little bit, but I may not sound 100%. I sure as heck don't feel 100%, but we're here for another week, so.
Man, like we said earlier, Trent, you're just a company guy. I mean, you lace up the boots, you do what's needed for the Jake Break faithful, and you're here week in and week out. It's incredible.
Yeah, man, it's just one of those things that, like, I'm never, like I said, we'll dive into it a little bit, but I pride myself, I don't get sick very often.
No, you don't.
And if I do get sick, I usually get sick, like, early wintertime for, like, a week, and that's about it.
Right.
If that. But, man, dude, 2026 has just been battering me down nonstop. So, yeah, but like I said, we're here, episode 38, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But, it's bound to be a good one.
Absolutely. And our goal by episode 50, folks, is to get to 1,000 subscribers. 1,000. We are making our way there. We have a far ways to go. So we're going to give you 5 seconds now. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends right now to hit that subscribe button. So we'll give you 5 seconds right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So now that you hit the subscribe button and told your friend sitting next to you to hit the same thing, or your coworker this Monday to hit that subscribe button, we're going to introduce a new segment to the show this week, Trent. Something you and I had talked about in previous shows here. We're going to put it into live action here today to start the show here. It's going to be called the Breaking Questions segment, right? So a little bit of a play on words with the Jake Break here. We're going to do the Breaking Questions segment. So for those of you that follow us on Instagram, you saw the poll that we put out here for the last couple of weeks about ask us a question for the show. It could be anything in between. We got some doozies. So we're going to answer them over the next couple of weeks here because we want to make sure we give plenty of time to answer some of these questions because some of them are pretty good, Trey. I don't know. I think you might have an edge on a couple of them here. It's not a competition with these ones. We'll save that for the blind draft. But the first one, I already promised that we would answer it on this week's episode here, and so we're going to stick to that promise. So the very first one that got fired in right away was from one of our listeners on Instagram. A dear friend of the pod, was actually our very first guest, Trent, on the podcast. Way back, oh my, I don't even remember what episode that was. That was in the teens, I think, wasn't it?
It was back probably end of July because it was like right when Brewer was born.
That's right. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. So our very first guest, a loyal fan of the show, Mr. Greg Gipe, username on Instagram, golf_Greg, gave us the question, Trent, can you explain where the term Banshee came from and how that terminology relates to golf? So, story time. But first, Trent, do you know what the term Banshee actually is or what it means?
I don't. In context, like, I've heard a lot of people say it.
Okay.
As far as, like, I don't know what a good example is.
Like, you've probably heard me say it a time or two. Like, I know you've said it a time or two.
Yeah. I don't know the exact meaning, but, like, the context of when people say it, like, I know you before have said, like, you did something like a wild man, or you can substitute Banshee in there, but this is kind of your story, because this kind of developed in college, right?
It did,
Yeah.
and unintentionally, potentially, or how should I say this, unintentionally had our team in jeopardy to potentially get disqualified from a tournament. So, to give a full definition of what a Banshee actually is, I Googled it here. So, right. So, the Banshee is according to Google, a banshee is a female spirit in Irish mythology that acts as a harbinger of death. She is known to wail, scream, or shriek to warn of an impending danger or death. Interesting. So that was not the definition that I took with it. So to give the story here, how screaming like a banshee, or the term banshee, flows into our space or our world here. I always said, hey, that thing is screaming like a banshee, not even realizing what a banshee is until my gracious coach looked it up in college. But like if somebody would just hit an absolute smoke of a drive, like Trent, he can hit bombs off the tee when he gets older, no doubt about it. Or some of my teammates could hit a good long ball. I would say that thing is screaming like a banshee off the tee, right? It's very clean. It's not cursing. It's not swearing. Nothing. And my coach was like, "Do you actually know what that means, Jake?" I was like, "Nah, no clue at all." And it's just a saying that I always had. And he's like, "Well, I got to tell you this, Jake. Like, you got to stop saying that so I have some time to look this up and like see if we could get like in trouble at like a tournament or something with you saying this." Because I'd say this in like competition play and all sorts of stuff. And he looked it up, found that definition, and we were in the clear. So I guess looking at the college or the Google definition and my experiences in college, screaming like a banshee, if you're hitting that off the tee, or hitting it like a banshee, or screaming like a banshee off the tee, that's a compliment in my book. Like, you're hitting a great tee ball, way past me probably. I mean, you're probably hitting it 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 yards past me like Trent does 90% of the time. And that ball is cooking. That thing is moving. It is, like the saying goes, screaming like a banshee. So that is how it relates to the golf world.
I think I've heard you say it one time when you either hit a terrible duck hook or just a push slice that you said the thing was taken off like a banshee, just OB. Just
oh yeah,
9-degree right turn. There she went.
And another good instance to throw out screaming like a banshee is not only off the tee, but after you hit screaming like a banshee drive where it just goes 300 yards down the pike, you have just a little flip wedge in. You're sitting up, soft hands, just gonna lay this thing right into the middle of the green, right beside the pin. Easy 2-putt, get out for a par or even a birdie. You set up with that little wedge, go to flip it, and you just flip that bottom edge right into the center of the ball and blade it 150 yards over the green. That ball there, folks, is screaming like a banshee as well. So that's another instance of another putt of scream, or another golf terminology of screaming like a banshee.
And you've hit that shot multiple times, and there's been multiple times where that turns out very good, surprisingly.
Yeah. Please share, Trent. Do you know of a particular instance where I had a shot like that in the bag?
Hole number 6, Lost Creek. He's probably, 130, 120, 130 out. Mm-hmm. Left side of the fairway. Kind of hit probably a pitching wedge or a gap wedge in there. And I'm telling you, he bones that wedge. Just straight in the center of the forehead of the golf ball. It doesn't get more than probably 8 inches off the ground. Mm-hmm. That ball, would it end up within a couple feet of the pin? 1-6.
Are you saying where it eventually ended up?
Yes.
Oh yeah. It was inside the grip.
Yeah. And there's been times where he'll hit that shot, and usually it ends up going way, way long. And I'm like, dude, it only happens to you that you can hit the world's worst golf shot, and it ends up so pretty, and then you have a tap-in birdie. Insane.
Not only was that ball screaming like a banshee in that instant, but that flag stick was screaming like a banshee as well, because I'm telling you, if anybody took that shot to the shin, there would still be a permanent mark on your leg from that one. Because, like you said, Trent, it got about 6 inches off the ground and ended up like 16 inches away from the pin, probably.
Yeah, just incredible.
So, to answer your question, Greg, and for our listeners out there, the term banshee Don't know where it came from, other than the Google definition. I don't know where I thought of it. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like there might be a SpongeBob reference in there. I got it from SpongeBob potentially. I really couldn't tell you where it came from. But how it relates to golf is, like we described to you there, a couple instances. You blade a good one or you nail one off the tee square. I mean, you could hit a good screamer like a Banshee shot then. So that is our breaking question segment of the week, and we will tune back into that for the following weeks here, because I'll be anxious to hear what people have to say.
Yeah, we're going to hit probably, one a week?
Yeah.
We had several submissions, so if you submitted one this past week, don't worry, we will talk about it, but we're going to try to do one a week here, just so it doesn't get too long here at the beginning of the show.
Absolutely. And if a new question comes to mind as you listen to our previous episodes or the episode for the week here, send us a DM, send us an email. We'll probably send some more polls out kind of irregularly, so stay on top of that as well. But if one comes up, send us a message. We love it. Because this is going to be a new segment going forward. So transition to screaming like a Banshee into kind of what you described earlier, Trent. Maybe not feeling quite 100% again. What are we up to this week now?
I feel like crap, Jake. I feel like crap. Back still tender, not in any pain, but just kind of walking around like an old man. But have a doctor's appointment for a second opinion there about that this week. But starting Wednesday, I was starting to have some terrible sinus headaches and whatnot. But then over the past 24 hours, man, I got so congested, and it's one of those sinus headaches, sicknesses that you feel so groggy and dizzy and about half sick, and you don't really want to eat. It's not good. And like I said, it's so unlike me, and I don't know if I want to blame my wife for working in elementary school and bringing all of this home and getting me sick, or if my immune system in 2026 just didn't wake up, because it's been a rough 2.5 months here. So I'm ready to shake this. I'm ready for spring. I can't do this cold weather sickness crap anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the immune system might still be in hibernation, because I know we had it later on the agenda, but I think we got to bring it up. This PA snowstorm that's coming for round 2, essentially.
Yeah.
I am so... We talked about this earlier before we got on the show here. I am so over winter this year. And I used to... you and I used to love it growing up, but I am just so fed up with wintertime this year. I feel like it's struggling for forever at this point.
Yeah, and I used to love winter because I would ski all the time. I wanted winter to start early, end in April. Just have snowstorms every week. Well, let me tell you what. I am ready. Ideally, it would stay 50 degrees in the fall until Christmas. And then we'd have 3 weeks of cold weather that would be a high of 32. We would get one good snowstorm, preferably on a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So we have off work Monday through Thursday. And then see you winter, spring come. That's all. I mean, I'm good. Especially now, because you gotta go out and you gotta take care of the snow and shoveling and cleaning off cars and all that jazz. Dog doesn't like to go in the bathroom in the snow. She hates it. She's a priss.
Mm-hmm.
The son's not old enough to play in the snow. Once he gets old enough, it's gonna be a lot of fun to play in the snow and whatnot.
Right.
But man, it's just it's annoying. I'm ready for it to be gone. And poor Philadelphia, the city's gonna shut down. They're expected 18 inches to 24 inches of snow.
It's crazy, dude.
The city will literally shut down. So, this snowstorm's been kind of weird because it's kind of circling and then staying still. So even people in New Jersey on the coast are getting 2 feet of snow, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm ready for it to be gone.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, there's only so much you can do in the wintertime before you're getting cabin fever, and it's all right, I want to go outside. I want to not freeze my backside off. I want to, just enjoy being outside. and not have it get dark at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or feel like it gets dark anymore. Now it's getting later, but it's still not helping the cause here. So it's tough. So hopefully your immune system wakes up here soon, kicks that, and we'll be thinking about you this week as you go for the second opinion, and we'll figure out a game plan for the old back situation there too.
Yeah, man. I hope it's. I mean, the surgeon I'm going to see, read a lot of good things about him. I just want to get my foot in the door in case it ever happens again.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I already have, he knows my history, he has my scans, and that way we can kind of course of action. So it's more of so like just getting that connection built just in case, I sneeze again and my back decides to break.
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited for that this week.
Well, that's good. Good deal. Well, we'll transition then real quickly into the sports segment here for the week. There's a lot of things to talk about. I mean, obviously with the Olympics wrapping up, the electricity that brought USA to its feet with both men and women hockey teams this week, winning in overtime thrillers. I mean, obviously with Megan Keller getting the overtime goal for the women's, and then against Canada, and then the next day on Sunday here with the men's team, just what an electric game. I mean, you and I were firing off messages left and right during the game. I mean, how do I want to say this? No matter where you are in the country or where you're at or what kind of a sports fan you are or not a sports fan, if you watched either of those games and you didn't feel some kind of sense of let's get fired up or pride, I don't know what you're missing, dude. Because that, especially like Sunday here with the men's team winning in overtime, just the emotions with Johnny Hockey's jersey along, the family being there, the kids on the ice there. I mean, just the way that game looked, it was not a good picture, especially that second period. Granted, they held off a 5-on-3, but the fact that that game even went to overtime was all on one guy on the ice in particular. And you know exactly who I'm talking about, Trent.
Dude, I don't watch hockey a lot, but the performance by USA's keeper, I think it's Hellebuck, is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah, Hellebuck, yeah.
Dude, I think he had 41 saves.
Yeah.
Especially that one save when he was on the left side of the net, came back to the right, stuck his stick back, and deflected the puck just enough outside the frame. I mean, the amount of one-on-ones that he stopped, it just absolutely incredible. He was a brick wall back there.
Mm-hmm.
USA would not have even been remotely close to being in that game if it wasn't for him.
Oh, no way.
Just an absolute perfect time to... I mean, he's been solid the entire Olympics,
mm-hmm.
but a perfect time to just shine, right? Like, if you're going to have an off game, that's not the game to do it. Well, that wasn't the case. But yeah, especially after the 5-on-3, how we survived that, no idea. But... And, I was hoping, if we can make it through, if we can get to overtime, right? And if somehow we can get through overtime, if it would go to a shootout, I would be fully confident in Hellebuck being back there. You know what I mean? The guy is massive.
Yeah.
Just absolutely giant. But the one thing that stood out to me is, especially there in the second period, it looked like we were so gassed.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were on defense.
Oh, yeah, we're on our heels almost the whole period, it felt like.
And any time that we would, try to swing, get some momentum, we had to sub out. So, any time there was a chance for an offensive push, had to sub, and then just kind of momentum just got, swirled around. But, I mean, the way they rallied there in overtime, just in a gutty performance by Team USA.
Yeah, no doubt. And then just like the icing on the cake, this just shows, how much of a different culture hockey is, right? Jack Hughes goes out there, gets busted up, loses some chiclets or, chaps them all up there, and goes out and wins it in overtime. I'm telling you what, there is hardly any other sport out there other than, maybe some football, wrestling, rugby, lacrosse, whatever. There's some other sports out there that have similar culture, but there is nothing like hockey. Like, this guy gets his teeth busted up, picks him up off the ice, goes out not even 20 minutes later and wins it for the team. I mean, in overtime. It's just unreal.
And did you see that thing I sent you? His brother, was it the night before?
Oh, yeah.
Asked him if he was still up, and he said that, yeah, he's just dreaming about scoring the game winner.
Yeah.
Well, that he spoke that straight into existence.
Oh,
but, yeah, I mean, just a different breed. And then I remember after the ceremony, or during the ceremony, you texted me, you're like, dude, what are these, like, stuffed animals they're giving out? I'm like, I don't know, they've been doing this year, but, dude, it is, nothing's funnier than, I mean, not just because it's Canada, but, like, if it's any team, right? You lose the gold medal game, and they hand you a medal, and then a stuffed animal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you were so frustrated that you just lost the gold medal game, and then you're a grown-ass man getting handed a stuffed animal as, like, here, congratulations. Hilarious. They did the women's game too, so all Canada, both men and women, got stuffed animals. And I mean, we got them too for winning, but, like, it's not as embarrassing getting a stuffed animal when you win, but losing and getting handed a stuffed animal as a grown adult is just, dude, it's hilarious.
And I get it. Like, I guess that's a tradition. I don't know. With the Olympics every 4 years, I tend to forget stuff really easily. But apparently it's a tradition to get, like, favors or, like, gifts or something if you medal beyond the medals, right?
Yeah.
Didn't realize that was the thing until I Googled it here today, but I would agree with you there. Like, and I cannot remember who it was. It definitely wasn't McDavid. I forget who it was on the Canada's roster. When they got it, they literally looked like they were just ready to launch it into the first row. They got it and they were like, and like his teammate was looking at him like, oh gosh, this is scary.
And that's what, like, you know, I think the Olympics could do a little bit better job of that, like, based upon the sport of which the gift is given. Mm-hmm. So, like, something for hockey. Get them, like personalized mouth guard holders, like containers, like travel cases. Something that goes along with the sport that they can actually use. Because, you know, all the stuffed animals are going in the garbage can. Like, you know what I mean? Like, give them something that relates to the sport in some manner of something they're actually going to use. Because it's kind of a token, too. Like, you have a mouthguard case that has, you know, Olympics 2026 on it with your country's logo or your name. I think that would be something cool. Yeah. But, like, yeah, the stuffed animal thing is kind of wild to me.
Yeah, I'd just be curious where the story came from that, or, like, the inspiration came from that. Because, like I said, I just don't remember that in years past. I guess this is a tradition that usually happens. I don't know what it has been historically, but I would just love to know, like, what the story or the history would be behind that choice.
Yeah, for sure.
But all jokes aside, the Olympics was electric. I mean, I think this might be the most I've ever watched a Winter Olympics ever. One, because the weather has just sucked, so it's like, you know what, we're going to stay put and watch the Olympics. But it just felt like the coverage was really good, too. Like, I felt like every time you turned on TV, you could watch something with the Olympics going on. But, you know, U.S. coming home second with the medal count. You know, obviously, historically, we have not done as good in the Winter Olympics, so it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. But beyond that, though, just real briefly, obviously, we want to talk about UFC. Saturday night, Paramount Plus knocks it out of the park again with the broadcast. I did not catch much of the card except for the main fight of the night, right? Strickland, I'm just going to put this out there. He is kind of a divisive voice in UFC, right? You either love him, hate him. There's not a whole lot in between. But he looked good. I'm telling you what, if he doesn't get a title chance in 2026 or early 27, Trent, I will be extremely surprised. That's how good he looked last night.
I agree, and the thing that shocks me about Strickland is when there's a microphone in his hand or a phone in his hand recording himself, he is a loose cannon.
Right.
You have no idea what's about to come out of his mouth. Mm-hmm. It just, he has said some very off-the-wall stuff, and he just sounds like loony, right? But when he is in that ring, he is so technical. Like, just laser focused, and it's not a fighting style of which you would think would come out Sean Strickland.
Mm-hmm.
You think he would come out, just swinging for the fences, acting like, a moron kind of deal. But he is just, I think he has a very good potential to be UFC champion in 2026.
Yeah.
He's a scary dude that he lands one punch, you're going out.
Right. And arguably, too, when he lost his belt against DDP,
Yep.
there was controversy there. There definitely was controversy there. And even in the rematch, like, he wasn't 100% healthy, I don't think, but even in the rematch, there was some controversy. I mean, UFC's a judgment sport, right? Much like boxing, figure skating, whatever you want to call it. It's up to the judges. But, I mean, last night, there was no doubt in my mind that he had won that fight, especially before the knockout. I mean, that's the icing on the cake, obviously. That's the ultimate decision. But he looked so good. And the crazy part is everyone knows him for his jab, his front kicks, his just his striking defense and just how, weird he is to fight. But he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
So it's like if you get him on the ground, you're not helping your cause either. I mean, he's not great at wrestling defense. He's not great against the fence. But, I mean, this guy looked good. Like, I don't see how you don't give him another shot in the very near future at the belt again. I mean, he looked good. He looked the caliber last night.
All I can say is I would never want to be in the octagon with him.
Yeah.
Or I would never want to piss him off in the streets because he's one of those guys that I feel like he's one of those guys that does not feel pain.
Yeah.
If he's slightly enraged, you could hit him with a Mack truck and he would stand right back up. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's built different.
Well, and I think it was kind of cool for Dana White to recognize as well. He's like, look, yeah, obviously when he's got a microphone in his hand, it's scary. Like, we never know what's coming out. But he's like, you people in the media just feed into it as well by asking him stupid questions that is going to get him fired up. Yeah. It's going to happen regardless. But you got to admit that when he steps into the media, they're going to ask him questions to get headlines.
But I think that's part of the flash of Sean Strickland.
Right.
That's part of his name. That's part of his show. That's part of the draw of the attention. It's just like Conor McGregor, right? His press conferences, you didn't know what was coming out of his mouth either. Mm-hmm. He'd show up late on purpose. That was part of the flair behind Conor McGregor and the excitement and all the fans that come. It's also Sean Strickland's thing. If Sean Strickland came out the next time wearing a suit and acted like a business professional, people would be like, this guy's boring. The media and the fans just love his, kind of unhinged personality. It's part of, who he is.
Well, and I mean, last night when he won in the post-fight interview, he was extremely respectful of his opponent. I mean, that's the thing. Like,
especially after the part where he's, what do you say? He thinks he's part Mexican now.
Yeah, because of how he fought and stuff like that. I mean, it's crazy. Like, even against his fights against DDP, I mean, he is super respectful post-fight of all of his fellow fighters.
And I give it very respectful for the next, 30 minutes after the fight, because the next day he'll go back to Instagram and saying the most unhinged stuff about his opponent.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's one thing I love about the UFC is 99% of the time you can have a bloodbath of two opponents talking for, the months leading up to the fight. Mm-hmm. As soon as that final round ends, it's all love. Right. They respect the hustle. And then, I love to see it, but then 24 hours pass and they're enemies again. Like, it's the great thing about the sportsmanship that you see most of the time. I'm not saying it's all the time, but most of the time you see, stellar sportsmanship pretty much across the board in the UFC.
Right. Absolutely. No, and to wrap up our sports segment here, I mean, we can't go a week without at least touching on the PGA Tour. Obviously, early in the season here. But what a way to wrap up the weekend with the Genesis Tigers tournament. First time winner on tour with Bridgman there. I mean, exciting for him. He obviously did not have his best day. Shoots one over on the day, but I mean, when the chips fall, he got the job done, right? Rory was obviously on his heels, just trying to clip away at it, but just wasn't quite enough to get it done. But it was exciting. I mean, and the big thing, one of the big storylines, obviously Bridgman with his first tour win at the Genesis is incredible. As big of a high caliber event that is. But Scotty's made cut streak stays alive yet again.
Yeah, I don't know I know it's early in the season. He has some things to work through. Mm-hmm. But man, especially Thursday, Friday, he did not look like himself.
No.
Hitting shots, missing greens 30 yards to the right, to the left, short, long, duffing chips. Mistakes that the one clip I saw, the announcer was like, I don't know who I'm watching because this is not Scotty Scheffler. Like, we're used to seeing Scotty Scheffler hit a bad shot and be 15 feet from the pin, right? And the one announcer was like, oh my gosh, like, we're finally finding out that Scotty Scheffler is a human. Like, he does make mistakes. And that's, like, the difference of when he's on his best level, when, after his drive, you look at his body language and you think it's going to go OB, and it ends up just being right side of the fairway, maybe just leak into the rough. But, like, early, this in the Genesis, when you could tell his body language was a bad shot, it was a bad shot.
Yeah.
Like, he was, kind of, not spraying it, but one thing about him, he got it roped back in, made the cut, and he did, I think he shot 64 yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, Saturday and Sunday he played out of his mind to, essentially get top 20 for the tournament. When after day one, I think he was like in 63rd or something like that, tied for 63rd.
Yeah.
So
T12, yeah. Yeah, he shot 74, 68, 66, 65.
Yeah.
And he still won $415,000.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
I just can't imagine. I can't.
Yeah.
Bridgman took home $4 million.
If I had $1 million in my pocket,
Jake,
I don't even know what I'd do with that kind of money.
Last place, $51,000. I'll take last place every day of the week.
What's the famous Kevin Kisner quote? 20th place still pays pretty good, or something like that.
Yeah, like that's what 20th place McIntyre, $260,000.
Yeah, that ain't too bad.
I would take 20th every day the rest of my life.
Yeah. And I know people are going to say, well, you got to pay your caddy, you got to pay all your expenses, you got to pay this, you got to pay your trainers, your coaches. I get it. But if you even play in 20 tournaments a year, 15 tournaments a year, and you're making $50,000 a piece at each of them, sign me up, dude.
Yep. Yeah, sign me up. I'll be your caddy.
Yeah.
And I'll take 3%. I don't even need the 10 or 20 or whatever it is. I'll take 3%. We'll make it work.
Well, we are going to have a special series this summer.
Yeah.
We won't divulge many details yet because we have plenty of time to go yet. But that dream might become a reality, Trent, this summer here. So we'll see.
We're going to go hard, Jake.
But that's our sports segment for the week. Obviously, we can't talk enough about the Olympics and everything that went into that. Just a magical time every 4 years. But the one thing you brought up last week, Trent, that I want to touch on again is the fish tank, right? You were hoping for excitement from there. Some difficult patches came with that. Where are we at with that now?
Yeah, well, we had several fish die, Jake. So we got a betta fish, right? And apparently, I'm doing some more research and talking to some people at the pet store, that if bettas do very well if they have other fish with them that are non-aggressive, and especially really small things, they don't feel threatened.
Okay.
It's more of a social thing. They thrive more, but it's dependent on the fish itself. Our fish was kind of like, he just acted lonely, so we're like, let's get him some small, like, little tiny baby guppies. Just something in there. And the lady was like, yeah, that'd be fine. So we get these guppies. They're getting along. They're swimming around. It's great. Go to bed. Wake up the next morning. All of them are dead. All died overnight. So the guppies must have been sick because the beta was fine. All dead. And there was no, like, there was no signs of them fighting each other.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they must have just been sick. So, clean out the tank, whatever. Go and get another beta fish. Put him in the tank. He's doing pretty good. Next morning, he'll swim to the top of the tank, he would turn upside down and sink to the bottom. Then he would lay there for like 5 minutes, then he'd get up and swim around, swim at the top of the tank, turn over, sink to the bottom of the tank upside down.
What?
And he did that all day. And I'm like, this fish is broken. Like, there's something wrong. So that night, I take him back to the fish store. In the cup, I'm like, something's wrong with this fish. And she's like, it's dead. I'm like, no, it's not. Just watch it. And then it would get up, swim to the top of the tank, flip on its back, sink to the bottom of the tank. She's like, what? I'm like, it does this on like a clock. Like, it's like clockwork. So she was like, I think it might be special. She's like, I think it may have like ran into your glass and like gave himself a brain injury. And I'm like, okay, can you also test our water? Because we also had another beta and 3 guppies, and this fish died. And she's like, yeah, it sounds like a water problem. And I'm like, okay. So she tests our water, and she goes, your water's perfect. So I was like, I wish she would have been like, your water has way too high ammonia or something, so we knew what it was. But we tested our water with like the chlorine drops and everything else. She's like, your water's perfect. And she's like, it's actually better than the fish store's water. I'm like, well then what's going on? She's like, you may have just got a bad batch of fish. Like, you might have just got super unlucky. So then we got the 5th or 6th fish, the 3rd beta. It's on Tuesday night or Wednesday night we got him. He's still living. He's thriving. So it had to have been just a bad batch of fish. And I looked online. Apparently guppies, they're very high in parasites.
Okay.
So I think we might have got some sick guppies that just wiped out the entire tank.
Golly. It's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. I never knew fish ownership could be quite as unpredictable as that. That's insane.
Well, and that's what I always thought that betas you can't put with other fish.
Yeah.
But I think ours was a female beta that we had. So females are less aggressive than males.
Okay.
And then if you put them with really small, non-aggressive fish, it works really well. Because they have other fish to swim around with and kind of do whatever. So after they all died, I was like, am I a bad fish owner for putting other fish with the beta? Is that why they died? But no. So
Dang.
That's where we're at. But we've had this fish now for 5 days or so, and he's happy as can be. So I think we've crossed the line, and we're good to go now.
So is it just the one beta fish, or where are we at in the tank?
We're one beta. Yep. Nope. We are sticking with one beta and one beta only. He's lived. We're not adding any other possible variables to this situation. Our son loves the fish.
Oh,
Every
very
time
good.
He's on his changing table, he's breaking his neck to try to look at the fish tank. Whenever he sees it, he's reaching for the tank, and he'll follow it with his hand. So
that's awesome.
He loves it. So yeah.
Very good. Well, hey, that's all. We love to hear it. We'd love to hear it. 3rd time's the charm.
That's right.
Very good. Well, we'll jump right into our 2 most famous man, I can't talk tonight. Most famous segments of the show here. I think we just got to jump right into the gas and brake segment of this week, Trent. I know you're very passionate. You already talked about your brake a little bit, but you just want to lead the charge here a little bit.
Yeah, Jake, I'm slamming the brakes on snow.
Love it.
Yeah, I just want it gone. I want it out of here. I'll see you next January. Yeah. I'm done. Especially now with the bad back. The last thing I want to do right now is go out and shovel snow. This snow is wet, heavy snow. Mm-hmm. It's not that light stuff that you can just take the snow blower and blow off. So, I got some work being done at the house tomorrow, so I got to get up tomorrow and get everything cleaned up so there's no snow in the way. So, it's a hassle, man. I'm ready I'm ready for Snow to move on and to move out until next year.
Good move. That is a great pick. Great pick, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree with you on that. So I'm going a little bit of a different route here. I'm going all gas on a show that I am fully hooked on Netflix, Trent. If you have not watched this yet, or anybody listening, if you have not watched this show, Lincoln Lawyer, you are missing out. Absolutely missing out.
Haven't seen it.
You have got to see it, dude. It is so good. I'm going all gas on the Lincoln Lawyer show. The actor that plays Mickey Holler, this defense attorney in California, is just incredible. Incredible, dude. I have the books. I didn't read the books yet because it's based on these books. So I don't want to spoil the show, but I know books and movies and TV shows can be different, so I will get into them eventually. But I'm telling you, Trent, it's one of them shows where you can binge watch it and not stop. Like every show, they leave you on a cliffhanger. The other night, Trent, literally we were watching it, and I think we watched like 4 or 5 episodes in one night. Didn't go to bed until after midnight for no good reason, just because we are so hooked on this show right now. It's so good. So good.
I haven't seen Midnight in a long time.
This was the first in a while for me. And it's because of this show. If you watch this show or have seen this show, you will fully understand. It is incredible.
Have you ever watched Chicago PD?
No, never did.
So that's one show that I could watch for hours.
Is that on Netflix? Here, let's look.
Let's do a little bit of research.
I've heard of it, but I've never watched it.
So there's Chicago Fire and there's Chicago PD.
Okay.
Peacock.
I don't have Peacock, but I could figure out a way to watch it.
Hulu.
Okay.
So Peacock, Amazon Prime Video, Hulu. We have YouTube TV, so it's like on every, I forget what night. NBC also carries it. But it's a great, like, crime show that has you on the edge of your seat usually till like the last 5 minutes when they break the case.
Interesting. All right, I'll have to watch it.
I'm a sucker for like a good crime action film.
Then you got to watch this show, Trent. You have to watch it. It's about a defense attorney in California, and he gets into some wild cases. He gets directly involved with them, like the police and public defenders and all that stuff get heavily involved. It is wild. It is a wild ride every single episode. If you have to, you know what? Heck with it. Watch it starting tonight. You won't go to bed till midnight, and you'll see midnight for the first time in a while.
I can't do that. I feel like crap, Jake. I need my sleep.
True.
It is 8:38 p.m. and I am ready to curl in a cocoon and pass out.
Yeah, maybe don't do it tonight. Watch it when you're at full strength, full energy, because you will not regret it. It's one of those shows you will never regret watching. I guarantee it.
Or I'll just save it for a day if I have to take off work because I'm sick, and I'll just sit in bed and eat soup and watch the show all day.
I love it. Very good. Okay. All right. Well, jumping into our next and final segment of the night, our blind ranking. So, you want to recap what we did last week, Trent?
Yeah, I got my butt kicked, Jake. So last week we did the blind ranking, so it's where we give the other person 5 things and they have to rank them without knowing what's coming next. So we did best locations for a first date, and from the poll on Instagram, Jake beat me 71% to 29%. So we're tallying them total with the blind draft as well. So currently I'm at 18, Jake has 13 wins, 4 ties, and the special guests have 2 wins. So that is a much needed win that you needed there, Kinzer, because you were on like a 5-week drought.
Oh, yeah. I was about as cold as you could get. About as cold as this weather we're having here.
Yeah, that's right.
Good one. Yeah. Yeah, I said that I was going to be coming for blood, so that's what I did, folks.
Yeah, and my wife, she thought that, like, when she looked at the poll the next day, she goes, "Oh, you're going to kill him."
I thought so, too, in all honesty. Afterwards, I was talking to some listeners, and they were like, "Jake, you were too soft. Still too soft."
Yeah, but, like, maybe a lot of people voted without like, because I can see like the topics or the places that we chose face value. Like when you say movie theater,
Mm-hmm.
like I gave you movie theater, people are like, "Oh, that's a great date, going to see the movies." But like when you actually think about it, like the first date, you're at the movies, you don't get to talk to the person.
No.
You don't get to know anything about them. You're sitting there side by side, and it's just whatever. But yeah, no, you kicked my butt. So this week I'm coming for revenge. But we're doing a normal blind draft this week.
Okay. Very good.
Okay. So we're going to do favorite springtime activities. We are going to try to shake this winter crap we got going on here and bring on springtime. So I forget. I flipped this week.
I think you do. I'm not
Okay.
sure. I can't remember, but let's roll with that.
All right. What are you calling?
Going heads.
Flip a coin. It's heads.
Oh, yes. Let's go.
It's
Well,
heads.
for the unanimous overall #1 pick that everyone in the world should know that I'm going to pick this. If you don't know me, or you know, I don't know. Everyone that knows me knows that my #1 overall pick for this one is easily going to be golf.
Yep. Pretty much knew that one there.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go fishing.
Good one. That was kind of 1A and 1B for me. So
Yep.
I knew one or the other was going to be the #1 for both of us. So that's a good one. #2, I'm going to go with. Man, I feel like spring is good for like gardening prep. I don't know how to word it. Like,
Yep. I had gardening on mine.
okay, let's just go with gardening then.
Dang it. Okay. I'm going to go hiking, like slash walks.
Oh yeah,
You know, like taking the dog for a walk, walk with the family, going for a hike. So like hiking slash walks.
Love it. Okay. For my third pick, what I'm gonna go with is baseball. I feel like spring and baseball are kind of go hand in hand, so I'm gonna go with baseball here.
Jake, I'm going grilling.
Oh, that's a good one.
You know, finally not freezing your butt off out there on the Blackstone or charcoal grill, whatever you like to use, and chefing it up.
I love it. I feel like, man, this is tough. I got one that's kind of related, so I'm going to save that for my honorable mention here. I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with farmers markets.
All right. Farmers markets. I'm gonna go turkey hunting.
Oh, that's a good one. I didn't even think about that. Let's see here. For my fifth one, this is so tough. That kind of relates to farmers markets, so I won't pick that. Man, this is tough. I feel like I got to go with picnics. I feel like in the spring, picnics are like a good thing.
All right, Jake. I'm ending my list with mowing.
Oh, shoot. How did I not think of that? That's such a good one.
And I know a lot of people like hate mowing, like it's a chore to them. But after being cooped up all winter, like I wish I was outside just mowing my grass. I love having a nice fresh green, mowed yard that looks super, got some curb appeal to it, looks fresh. I love it. So I'm gonna go over my list quick, then you can run over yours. I had fishing at 1, hiking/walks at 2, grilling at 3, turkey hunting at 4, and mowing at 5.
Love it. Number 1 for me was golf, 2 gardening, baseball, farmers markets, and picnics. And my honorable mention I was going to say is the Masters, but that will fall into the golf category, I feel like. So
Yeah, I had shooting bow and washing vehicles as 2 of my honorable mentions. Because, wash your vehicle, get all that road salt off from the winter time. Because like now you really can't wash your vehicle without it flash freezing.
True.
And like automatic car washes are okay, but like I drive a truck, and most automatic car washes, like most of the ones we have around here are the ones that like you go on a conveyor belt and it takes you through.
Yeah.
And like with a bigger vehicle, I don't want those brushes like scratching up my paint kind of deal.
I agree with you.
I think that was a good blind draft. Hopefully, this topic will push winter out of the way, so we can start enjoying some of these activities. Because man, I am tired of snow. I'm tired of cold weather. I'm tired of being sick. I'm ready for some nice weather.
Absolutely. We'll keep our fingers crossed. We're hoping for sunny, warmer days ahead. Get spring knocking on the door sooner than later here. Let's make it happen.
And spring's going to bring a lot of cool outdoor content for the YouTube.
That's right.
So be prepared.
We have some great stuff lined up for this spring. Once we get through these crazy winter months, we got some very exciting stuff on the horizon. We will not share, or
we may or may not have some trips planned.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way.
That's right. That's a great way to put it.
Yes.
Very good. Well, stay tuned. Another week of the Jake Break here. We appreciate your support. We thank you for listening week in and week out. Like we said in the beginning, if you have not subscribed, followed us on Instagram, subscribed on YouTube, subscribed on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, make sure you do so. And while you're at it, tell your friends, family, loved ones, coworkers about the show as well. Like I said, our goal by the 50th episode is to get to 1,000 subscribers. And we're trending up that way, but we need your help and support to get to that point there. So that ends another week, another edition of the Jake Break. Stay tuned for Tuesday when that blind draft poll gets sent out there. Make sure you vote on the Instagram to let us know who wins this week on the blind draft. But otherwise, we'll see you next week.